Jan Blachowicz versus Israel Adesanya, 205 champ versus the 185 champ, man. And this is a crazy one, man, because Israel Adesanya is favored minus 250 favorite against Jan Polish Power Blachowicz. You know what I'm saying? And this is kind of crazy because rarely do you see the champion that moves up weight be favored in these fights. But nonetheless, Israel Adesanya, when you knock out Paulo Costa, when you get a win over Yoel Romero, you know what I mean? When you're beating, knocking out Robert Whittaker, it's like obviously when you do your homework and you look at his fights and you see this dude's got over 70 wins in kickboxing and this dude has gone up to heavyweight and did all that, it makes a little more sense, man. So how do you see this fight playing out, man? Do you think this goes, how long do you think this lasts? This is what I'm really interested in. How long do you think this one lasts?
I actually think it lasts past the normal 3 rounds, but doesn't make it all the way. I'm going with the round four end.
Yeah,
I'll tell you a little bit later why I think it goes that way. But I just with how talented both of these fighters are, I don't think it's going to be early, and I don't think it's going to go into an end. What do you think?
Well, I think that this one lasts as well, and the reason why, I mean, because it's tough. Because I'm like, there's 2 ways it can go. I can see a very early finish, like the Paulo Costa, and then I can see a grinded out finish because of one trait that Jan Blachowicz possesses that Paulo Costa also possesses, but he just decided he didn't want to use it. I think he got a little too emotional during the fight. Jan Blachowicz is a BJJ black belt, dude. This dude is legit, and if you see how he can control people, if you saw the way he controlled Nikita Krylov, who was a BJJ black belt as well, and he just put him on the ground, had his way with him. His sprawls are incredible. If he can do that to Israel Adesanya, bro, it's going to be a long night. But that's the thing. It's the what if. Because has anyone else done that to Israel Adesanya? No, not even Derek Brunson. And Derek Brunson, he was literally came in with one plan. That plan, take him down, wrestle. And no, you didn't. It couldn't. Like Israel Adesanya walked out almost flawless. Like his face was like flawless after that fight, man. And that was a big one to start making that Israel Adesanya name. But nonetheless, man, Jan Blachowicz, he just destroyed Dominic Reyes in his last fight to win the championship, to win the 205 strap. I picked Reyes. I was super high. I said, there's no way Blachowicz wins this. Reyes, come on, man. You saw what he did to Jones. He's the champion. Dude got starched, man. Holy shit. That nose was, it was looking rough. It was looking rough. But nonetheless, man, I guess the question here is that Israel Adesanya, if he can make Blachowicz miss, he's going to win the fight. But if Blachowicz lands, what do you think happens?
Well, I'm glad you said the thing about the takedown, Derek, because a lot of the media is going with the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the notion of what you just said.
Sure.
Izzy's looking not to get touched. And if Blachowicz actually lands one power shot, he's going out, man. I mean, Blachowicz has that, like you said, that Polish power, and it translates. We've seen it translate a little bit to why how Jan is able to translate his power as well. Blachowicz has that same shift where he steps through and he will throw power from both hands. Now, I definitely think that Jan needs to work for that takedown to actually get him on the ground. But if the power connects, that's where Izzy already knows that's where the danger is. You know what I'm saying? Izzy knows, like he said in his pre-fight presser, he's like, my goal out there is to not get touched once. Now, can that happen, man? 25, who would you place a bet on? 25 rounds locked in the cage. This guy gets to touch him once. This guy doesn't ever get touched. Like, that's such an unbelievable bet. Obviously, somebody's going to get touched. Obviously, it's going to happen. But is the precision going to happen? Now, like you were saying before with the takedowns, I think that's where the crux of it, Israel Adesanya, is obviously in the takedown game. And I think what Jan needs to do to show, at least get a little bit of respect, is show Izzy something he's never seen before. Izzy's seen all the striking. Izzy's seen the heavyweight power. Izzy's seen all this stuff, but he's never been controlled and he's never been put on his ass and kept there. Like you said, even in the Derek Brunson fight, man, when the guy had one thing to do, he wasn't able to do it because Izzy's so good at doing what he does. Now, let's see if he can do that, because it's a lot easier said than done. What do you think?
Well, one factor that a lot of people aren't necessarily bringing into this, and apologies because I don't have it written down in my notes. I don't even have it on the top of my head. But when Izzy fought Paulo Costa, do you remember, was that in Vegas or was that at Fight Island?
Pretty sure it was Fight Island.
So if it was Fight Island, right, Paulo Costa kind of had to chase Izzy around. This one's in Vegas. That's a small octagon, man. Blachowicz even said it himself. He was all like, yeah, we got the small ring. I'm not going to have to chase him around. You know, I'll end up clipping him or whatever. But the big story is that, what happens if Izzy gets clipped? You know, he got clipped against Yoel Romero. And if there's any dude who's going to knock you out, it's that dude who's just made out of titanium or something. You feel me? But listen, man, Blachowicz, man, he has a good shot. He has a good shot. It's 5 rounds, man. That's a lot of time. But like I said, Israel Adesanya has a knack to just make people miss, just get out of range. You saw Anderson Silva try to hit him with a beautiful flying knee to the face. And Izzy just like, nope, I saw saw it coming. It's like in slow motion, moved out the way, and then was like, yeah, I saw what you tried to do. No, not going to work, pal. Israel Adesanya, the thing about him is he's 20-0. He's undefeated. Obviously, that's the big claim to fame, but this dude has a lot of experience. It's not like Blachowicz has really an experience factor when you attribute Israel Adesanya's career before MMA. This dude was literally a star in his sport before MMA. Fought heavyweights, like I said earlier, 15 knockouts, never been knocked out, no subs, never been submitted, and only 5 decisions, and he's never lost a decision. So it's like Blachowicz, if it goes to decision, he's lost 5, he's won 10, you know, you don't want to leave it there, and he only has 8 knockouts. So what is this to say that Adesanya has less fights, way more knockouts than Blachowicz, you know what I'm saying? And we've seen Blachowicz, we saw him struggle against Thiago Santos, and we know, here's the thing about Israel Adesanya, and this is kind of my conclusion point on Israel Adesanya. We talk about it all the time, right? We say this thing that, listen, timing beats speed and precision beats power, right? And what's the thing that Israel Adesanya has? Not only is he going to have the speed advantage, he's also going to have the precision advantage. And that's the thing. When he hits Whitaker with just perfect little hook to the temple and he just goes down or whatever. When he hit Paulo Costa, he barely grazed Costa and Costa was dazed, stunned, and then just got him out of there, gave him the double pump, and you know what I'm saying? Kept it pushing, you feel me? But ultimately, man, listen, I just think this is going to be a tough test for Blachowicz, being that he's not a time-tested, proven champion. Israel Adesanya, he's done it against Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa should be a 205er himself. So it's not the first time that Izzy is facing this battle. And I just think that this dude's star power and his momentum is too much. If he loses, I think this is going to be like Conor McGregor-esque level of people being shocked. Like, bro, what just happened? You know what I mean? I don't think he gets any slack for losing, especially because he's been talking all this mess like, oh, I'll beat John Jones. And if he loses to Blachowicz, I think that fight's done. I don't think that ever happened. So there's a lot on the line here. But Blachowicz, like he said, he's like, I'm an underdog and I'll just take the role. That's fine. Y'all, he's been an underdog in like his last like 10 fights, and he's won like 8 of those 10 fights. So nonetheless, man, give me some conclusory, not even a word, but conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Give me some conclusion on this bout. What are your thoughts? So we can get into that fight tonight before we run out of time.
Yeah, just to wrap up my whole thoughts on this thing, I think the biggest aspect that Izzy has going for him is that precision and able to slow the game down, make his reads, and outstrike Blachowicz. And I think that's what it's going to be, man. It's going to be the Izzy Adesanya show. And if he doesn't get the win, we're going to see some crazy fallout, just like we did with Conor McGregor. I think you're right. Personally, I'm going Izzy KO round 4 because I think he's going to let it dance out a little bit, show us what he's worth, and put the end stamp on the night. Who you got?
I'm going to go Izzy, man, but I got to go decision, man, because I got to respect Blachowicz, and I think Blachowicz could spend a lot of time chasing him down. Like I said, in that Romero fight, now that was really, really weird, right? Romero was just standing still, not wanting to do anything, but that's the thing. If Blachowicz isn't just pressuring him, starching him forward, Izzy has nothing to counter-strike on, then he has to initiate the offense, and he can win rounds, but I don't know how often he's just knocking dudes out just by trying to initiate his own offense. Generally speaking, he knocks you out because you're pressuring him and he counter-strikes you and you don't see it coming, and then that's it. That's the end of the show. Robert Whitaker tried to walk forward, didn't work out. Paulo Costa tried to walk forward, didn't work out. All of these dudes, man, you know what the story goes. So yeah, I'm going Adesanya. I'm going by decision, man, but I will not be mad if Blachowicz wins this fight. I will not be mad whatsoever. And I think this is, like we talked about before, this is going to be the worst thing for the light heavyweight division if Adesanya wins, because now he's defending 2 belts. Now both of these divisions are being put on kind of a standstill. But nonetheless, man, those are the main card picks, man. So